Hello everybody and welcome to Taunton Castle Way. Now today is Monday the 6th of January, which is the first day of Stagecoach South West operating Route 20 between Taunton and Seaton. The route runs via Wellington, Holmstock, Hemyock, Dunkerswell, Honiton and then ends up in Seaton, and the route takes roughly just over 2 hours. Now, the route did used to be operated by Stagecoach South West. A lot of Dennis Dance used to operate the route, and was First Bus operate the majority of the services in the Somerset. Stagecoach did used to compete quite a lot with the buses of Somerset, and back then First Somerset and Avon on a lot of rural services. However, the problem is that the rural services, although they were a lifeline, weren't actually making much money. So Stagecoach ended up losing and pulling out of Somerset, which meant that First Bus took over all of the routes that Stagecoach operated unless they got withdrawn. Anyway, there is our first bus heading off to Richard Hewish College on its arrival from Hemyock. Here is the 20 timetable at Castle Way, and while Stagecoach South West haven't operated in Somerset for a very long time, there goes a Scania Enviro 400 MMC on the Taunton Park and Ride, which nearly a year ago now got taken over by Stagecoach South West after the buses of Somerset said that the Park and Ride service was no longer viable. Anyway, there is that ADL Enviro 200 arriving back in at Castle Way with a destination board saying Seaton on the front, which is the route's final destination. We'll be following the buses of Somerset 22 bus route as far as Wellington before heading off down onto the country lanes across the Blackdown Hills from Holmstock and Hemyock through Dunkerswell, and then arriving on the other side of the Blackdown in Honiton. After leaving Honiton, we would then run along through Chute and Honiton before arriving into Seaton 2 hours and 8 minutes after our departure from Taunton. Now, while Stagecoach South West were taking over this route, there was a small diversion in the Seaton area due to weather the day before not being very good. So the route towards the Seaton end isn't exactly what you might expect. However, the rest of the route is just the normal Stagecoach 20 route. Now, Stagecoach South West did used to operate a lot of bus services in Somerset, like I said earlier. Then they lost it all, and the 20 was taken over by Dartline. For quite a while, Wright Street Light WF vehicles used to operate the route before the route was primarily taken over by newer Opta Solo SRs. This is primarily once Go Ahead had taken over the Dartline operations. Anyway, then Dartline announced that they would no longer be operating the route, and Stagecoach South West took over the route on Monday the 6th of January. Here we are passing Somerset College on the main chunk road towards Wellington. Now, I do apologise if the recording sounds a little bit strange. However, that is because I am recording this, and I'm recording the speech as well as the normal video whilst I have a cold, so sorry if the speech sounds a bit strange or just awkward, but that is because I have a cold. Anyway, here we are leaving Taunton. Now, you would think some people would use the Route 20 to get between Taunton and Wellington, since it does operate alongside the buses of Somerset 22, 22A, 22B and X22 routes. However, I was the only person from Taunton all the way to Comstock, and I reckon I was the only paying passenger on the entire journey. And that was only because it was too early at Taunton for me to use my bus pass, Otherwise I would have used my bus pass, since I've now got a bus pass because I'm old enough to apply, and I have got a problem with my eyes which makes me illegible, and it just means I can make videos a lot cheaper. Now when I can apply for a rail card, I will apply for one. However, I currently am not old enough to apply for a rail card, and if I end up working for Great Western Railway, then I can travel on all GWR services for free. So suddenly I can make videos for a lot less money, because at the moment they are quite expensive. Now, although it doesn't seem like £3 is a lot, even when I'm just going out recording videos, it can be quite expensive, and even when I'm not recording videos, it then gets even more expensive, since I pretty much commute regularly in and out of Bridgewater. So things can get quite expensive when you raise the price of the bus service by 50%. Anyway, here we are now, travelling through the country lanes across the Blackdown Hills. Very wet home stop, which is where we encountered our first passenger. Although there wasn't any severe flooding along the route, a lot of rural Somerset and Devon, following the recent weather conditions before Monday the 6th of January, a lot of areas had experienced flooding. Now, although this route, like I said earlier, didn't experience heavy flooding, it did look like the local river or stream in Colmstock had burst its banks. Quite a small village, this is one of the main places on Route 20, and it's one of the main and biggest villages in the local area. Although it is quite small, like I said earlier, I reckon the Route 20 must serve every single main street in the village, since a lot of people actually use the bus service in Hemyock. However, it does make it quite an inconvenience for any other passengers that have boarded the bus before Hemyock. Although it is located in quite a rural area, it did look like they had built some fairly modern and new houses in the local area, which to me seemed quite senseless. You're miles from anywhere and the bus service only runs about 4 times a day. Turning around on one of the deviations in Hemyock village. Now, the Stagecoach 20 timetable doesn't really differ that much from the Dart Line timetable from when Dart Line used to operate the service. However, there are a few minor changes where services operate a couple of minutes after or before they did when they were operated by Dartline. However, overall, the timetable is still roughly the same, and there are still 4 to 5 journeys during the day, depending on where you are, since some journeys only run between Hemyock and Honiton, and other journeys only run between Seaton and Calmstock. The Taunton end of the route seems to get the least amount of services. Along with Hemyock, this is another main place along the route and plays quite a big part in motoring history. As well as this, Dunkeswell is also home to an airfield. Here we are passing the bus going in the other direction from Seaton bound for Taunton via Wellington.
Cheers, mate. I owe you one. Thanks, mate.
Between London and the West Country. Here we are passing through Honiton town centre, where you can change for a number of local and regional bus services towards Exeter, as well as bus services such as the 20 and the 9A bus service towards Seaton and Sidmouth, as well as local Dartline services. You can also change here for South Western Railway train services towards Exeter or Yeovil, Salisbury, Basingstoke and London Waterloo. Here we are stopping at Honiton Tesco. Whilst it may not seem like a major stop, if you're one of the passengers that have boarded the bus in one of the villages in the Blackdown Hills, it can be quite a major stopping point, as most of the villages along Route 20 in the Blackdown Hills have very little, if no, amenities. arriving very close to Seaton in the Axe Valley area. This area around Seaton and Holyford and Honiton is well known for flooding, and I'm quite surprised that more of the tram network in this area doesn't get flooded. Anyway, here we are on the road towards Axmouth, which is part of the diversion. Usually the route would run direct between Honiton or Holyford, I can't remember which one it is, and Seaton. However, that road is closed due to waterworks. Arriving at Seaton Seafront, which because of the diversion is the only major stopping point in Seaton and is the final stop on Route 20. Anyway, as this Stagecoach South West ADL Enviro 200 leaves the seafront to go and park up near Seaton Tramway, I'd just like to thank everybody for your continued support on the Facebook and YouTube groups and channels, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Just before I go, if Seaton can do this, why can't Bridgewater or Taunton or most of Somerset? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers for now.